Hello everyone, and welcome back to World of Warships Blitz with Terry. I have recently unlocked the Prinz Heinrich, so I've had some fun in this ship. I did play the Prinz Heinrich originally when the line came out, but just a couple of times for the review, so now I've had a bit more fun on my personal account. In the first game, we are playing against Sinop, Fuso, Repulse, York, and an enemy Farragut. Now, Prinz Heinrich is a German battle cruiser, not a battleship, which means she's got great secondaries for the tier and torpedoes, but not quite as much armor as you would otherwise experience. First things first, we need to set the secondaries over to armor piercing and the torpedoes to narrow spread, and I am going to head over into C-Cut on this map. Now, generally in a battleship, going alone into a capture circle can be a little bit dicey, but in a battle cruiser, you are uniquely positioned to do so, because German battle cruisers have sonar, and they have fierce secondaries, so destroyers are not a huge problem. So if the Farragut comes down this way, I'm reasonably confident that I can take her on, because I also have the secondary overload, which increases the range on the secondaries as well as the rate of fire. Don't underestimate the main guns on these things. They might be relatively low caliber, but they hurt. And the first thing we've spotted is the Fiji. That is a bot, so I'm not yet going to give my position away because I'm going to be sailing behind the island, which means if the Farragut does show up, and I think the Farragut is in the center, so we are relatively safe over here. There is the Repulse. Now, I can't remember if the Repulse has torpedoes, because the Repulse is a battle cruiser, and some British battle cruisers have torpedoes, but I'm not sure about this one. Anyway, surprise! Yes, this is a stealth build, Prinz Heinrich, so he gets surprised. There's also the Sinop, so we've got two battleships against us here. And in that case, again, I am not sure if he has torpedoes, but I don't want to rush him because he has backup from the Sinop. Yes, these were the secondaries to citadeling the Repulse. The thing is with the German battle cruisers that you have to pick your fights, because you are not necessarily sure. If you're not necessarily sure that you can win the fight, then do have a measure of caution here. And yes, I've run the sonar because I literally can't remember if that thing has torpedoes or not. But the bot Fiji has been dealt with, and I think the destroyer over there is the Gajamada, which was a bot and not the Farragut. So the Repulse is now running away, and that leaves the Sinop. So let's have a look if the Sinop is looking at me. And no, the Sinop's guns are pointing in the other direction. So I'm switching the secondaries to high explosive to try and maybe set some fires on the Sinop. And then main guns on the deck and the secondaries away, and that is a good time to use the secondary overload while we are citadeling the Sinop through the deck armor without much problems at this range. And I am chasing the Repulse, which means the secondaries on the other side, the auto secondaries that is, are still opening up at the Repulse as well, and you've just got the damage ticking up everywhere. Let's get some torpedoes away against the Sinop, and then we'll get another salvo from the main guns, and the Repulse is has stopped running away. He's not AFK, he's still firing at me, but we'll get back to the armor piercing, and he appears to have been lagging, maybe to avoid torpedoes, I'm not sure, or maybe it's just a bad connection, but now Repulse, you are in a close range brawl with a German battle cruiser, and that is not something you want to do. Now, he is avoiding two of my torpedoes, but I don't need torpedoes or main guns to finish off the Repulse. I can do that with the secondaries. Then the rear turret on the Prinz Heinrich is a 360 turret, but if you are targeting deck or weak spots with the secondaries, you are going to do a lot of damage, more damage than that poor Repulse is going to be able to deal with. So that British battle cruiser is going to go down in a second, and it looks like the Sinop has avoided my torpedoes. So while we are finishing off the Repulse, it's time to already turn around and see where the rest of the battle is going. we're quite ahead on points, and now we're a kill ahead as well, because we are holding 2 of the capture circles. But the friendly Mahan is basically a one-shot kill for anything in that... yeah, and the Sinop has taken out the Mahan. So we are once again in a long-range gunnery situation, where we are shooting at the Sinop and then making our way back to the center cap. The Prinz Heinrich is a very good ship, especially if you're top tier. Because she's basically a Prinz Eitel Friedrich, a tier 7 Prinz Eitel Friedrich with torpedoes. Or you could say a Scharnhorst with long-range torpedoes. And the Scharnhorst is a very good ship as well. So these things are exceptionally fun. And yeah, the Sinop is still not looking at me. But now, at this point, the Sinop is the last ship alive on the enemy team. There is still a destroyer out there on our side. So let's see if I can finish off the Sinop before the battle actually ends. And the only thing that you kind of have to remember with the German battle cruisers is that the main guns are not the most precise at long range. These things are meant for close range engagements. So destroyers got the torpedoes away, and the Sinop has taken down the Mahan, but the Mahan has torpedoed the Sinop in return, netting him the Vengeance and me the last Hope Medal at the end, for a comfortable 86,000 points of damage in a nice tier 7 game. And no, I haven't been shooting at bots, I have just been shooting at players at this point. That's sort of what a German battlecruiser is capable of, especially in mid-tiers when people aren't paying too much attention. This is not with APCS. Now for the second round, let's go in for a bit more of a challenge. We are in a bottom tier match, but I think the only tier 8 on the enemy team is the Vladivostok, which is a bot. We do have a Kansas on our side, but there are some teams involved. There's divisions involved. There's a Colorado Bliskovica division in our team, and an Asturias Bolognese Judaci division. That's nasty in the enemy team. So let's go. You do have to be a little careful with managing your hit points, and while it is hilarious and fun to blow destroyers out of the water that are just sailing broadside onto you within secondary range, if the enemy destroyers know what they're doing, then things can get a little more different. But regardless, as a destroyer captain, you're well advised to stay away from German battle cruisers, because these things are pretty dangerous, due to the fact that they have sonar, torpedoes, and murderous secondaries. Alright, Benson is going straight ahead. It would have been lovely if the Benson would have been scouting C, but it seems he's not even interested in B Cup. He's just literally going straight ahead. That is actually not a great idea, and I need to make a separate video about that. Benson, you are sailing straight into a crossfire if you're unlucky, and there is a division with 2 relatively nasty cruisers out there. But Benson has spotted some battleships and is debating to go into B Cup, then thinks better about it, but now is running into the Asturias, so it's about time to give the Benson some fire support. Unfortunately, at this point, the Leberecht Mars shows up, and yeah, the Leberecht Mars has probably not been expecting me, but he is torpedoing the Benson. Still, I've got sonar up just in case, because the Asturias over there has torpedoes as well, as far as I remember. We get some torpedoes in case the Leberecht Mars does a full turn, but the Leberecht Mars is not stupid. The Leberecht Mars is actually now sailing away from the German battle cruiser, which is what he should be doing, because I haven't pushed after him because there is the Asturias still coming. And he's now sailing away, he's avoiding the torpedoes, and he's outside range of my secondaries, which means the Asturias is still there, but he is now on the receiving end, and he is in a cruiser. There's still one of our battleships coming with me here, but I've got Colorado, Asturias, and the Leberecht Mars to deal with, and there come the Asturias torpedoes as expected, so we'll try to avoid, but we are taking one, and unlucky, we are taking a flood, which I am damage controlling. So the Leberecht Mars, which should generally be firing armor piercing, is firing now high explosive, and the Leberecht Mars is now again coming under fire from me, but immediately turns away. kites away and does not sail in a straight line. There are more Asturias torpedoes and there are the Leibrecht Maas torpedoes coming in. I didn't need sonar to know that they are coming. But the Leibrecht Maas is now maintaining a respectful distance while setting permafires. And this is how you play if you are in a destroyer and you have to deal with the German battlecruiser. So well done, Leibrecht Maas. And I've got the secondary overload up. Slight lag issues there on the enemy side, but you might also notice that I'm using the armor piercing. That depends a bit on the range. Now Leibrecht Maas is on low hit points, so he'd be better advised to actually go undetected. But he probably wants to go behind the island. I've got the sonar up just in case, and let's see if the Leibrecht Maas remembers that German battlecruisers have torpedoes. There come his torpedoes. I'm still coming under fire from the Colorado or the Asturias on the other side, but we're now using the island to shield ourselves from the Leibrecht Maas's torpedoes. And yes, I know you're coming around that side. Hello! And that is a very dead Leibrecht Maas, and we are adding insult to injury by getting him torpedoed. That, unfortunately, due to the multiple permafires that he managed to set after that unlucky flood, leaves me with relatively low hit points. So now it's time to get back. However, we are leading on points quite comfortably, but the rest of my team is all the way on the other side. So we've still got 2 more battleships and a destroyer. First things first, we are going to deal with the Asturias. Again, you are in a battle cruiser, not in a battleship, which means you don't quite have the same armor that you would have in a German battleship, and the Asturias isn't stupid. So he's been trying to stay behind the island. Now he can't see me. I can still see him, but I am also being very careful with the California over there. You have to manage your targets. Now, I would love to chase after the Asturias, but then I'm going to get into an engagement with that California potentially, which is not, with 8,000 hit points, not something I can actually easily manage. Even the Asturias, if he engages me from long range, is going to be successful in sinking me, because I don't have the hit points to engage him at long range and not the accuracy to do it either. So I'm sailing next to the island, making sure that I'm engaging the California over there. It's 3 versus 3 at this point. And California is busy elsewhere, so I'm starting to farm some damage on the California while waiting for my heal to come off cooldown. And that Gascogne is a bot, actually. We have one of our bots still alive. Unfortunately, that means the Asturias is disengaging, but the California is busy shooting the bot into bits, which is not a terrible idea because it gives points, and the Asturias is now pushing into A cup, and there's still the Yudachi out there. Unfortunately, now I get my heal off cooldown, my last heal that is, and can now start engaging the California. The Yudachi has taken down the bot Gascogne, and we're still ahead on points, but the Asturias is now flipping the capture circle over in A, which is potentially a problem because we've still got 1:30 to go. So that Blitzkowitzer over there is in need of help. So I'm shooting at the Asturias, but again, the Asturias is at long range, and I'm not particularly effective at long range. And the Yudachi is still out there either. The Yudachi has deep water torpedoes, so he's not a huge threat to the Blitzkowitzer, but the Asturias is. Unfortunately, the Asturias has smoked up somewhere. I'm not sure if he's smoked up or if he's just gone undetected, but no, he's not smoked up. He's just outside range. I don't think the Asturias has a smoke. Terry, what are you talking about? So my best bet here is to help the Blitzkowitzer by engaging the California and trying to get him off his back. And the California at close range is definitely not a ship that's easy to engage. So I've got the torpedoes out, and I am retaking B cup while the Blitzkowitzer is retaking A cup, and he has managed to sink the Asturias without going down. So the Blitzkowitzer on our team basically now only has to run, and I'm going to just try and distract everybody. The Yudachi has realized that and is going after the Blitzkowitzer, but the California is now very much engaged here. And I'm staying well away from any potential Yudachi torpedoes. I'm probably going to go down against the California. Not sure I'm going to be able to take him with me, but as long as the Blitzkowitzer survives and gets away from there, then we will have won. So the California takes me out, so it's all up to the Blitzkowitzer to survive. The Yudachi does not have the firepower to take him down, and the Blitzkowitzer has played very well and has actually done the right thing. Rather than YOLOing for a bit of extra damage, has sailed away while I've drawn the fire from the California and almost managed to take him down with me. So, yeah, Prinz Heinrich is a joy to play, in my personal opinion. He's a very, very good battle cruiser. These things are most dangerous at close to mid-range. So if you are facing one of them, just long range. Even cruisers, maneuverable cruisers at long range, because the accuracy of the guns at long range is terrifying. It's terrifyingly bad. Just kite away, set fires, or even if you're a British cruiser or a Spanish cruiser, you just have armor piercing, you can still do a lot of damage to a German battle cruiser at range, because they're not particularly well armored. So it's really all about keeping your distance. But if you get up close to one of these things, then, well, expect to be spunked. And that's it for me today. Thanks, everybody, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.